For England that Goff can't play, but welcome to the highlights of the opening day's play of this fifth Test match between Australia and England at Trent Bridge. Not only do England have to win this match, but they also have to get around the question of the toss. Mark Taylor so far has won all four in this series. Simon Hughes is out in the centre now to see how he goes at his fifth attempt.
Mark, you've won the toss again. Aren't you going to let us have a chance?
5 in a row. So he's even changing coins on me, but I'm still winning the toss. But so I'm starting to get towards 50-50 now as a captain. So thanks to Mike, I'm turning it round.
Presumably you're going to bat first?
Going to bat, yeah. Looks like a pretty good wicket. Probably one of the best wickets I've seen for the series so far.
You're not going to let us into this series, aren't you? Going for the jugular this game?
Oh, we're trying to win it, as we do every other Test match. But so there's five days of Test cricket to come, and the best side will win over 5 days.
What's the Australian secret?
Just to play good cricket. We try to come out and entertain the crowd and entertain ourselves by playing good cricket. That's what we're trying to do this game.
And you've had a settled team now for 2 tests?
Yeah, got the same side again for this game, which is a good thing to have. We've been a bit lucky. We've got no injury worries at this stage, which is good news.
What's a good score, first innings?
Oh, as many as we can get. I don't know. As I said, the wicket looks very good. Looks like it'll play well, but you never know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
OK, good luck.
Thanks, Simon.
Michael, bad luck again. How are you going to cope with having to bowl first on this?
Well, we've got to win the game. We've got to bowl Australia out. So it doesn't matter whether we bowl first or second. That's what we've got to do.
And what's the team news?
We've left out Phil Tufnell, playing 4 seams.
So is it a big blow that you haven't got Darren Gough for this game?
Well, it's disappointing for him because it's a big game. But in many ways it might turn out to our favour because it's an opportunity for the likes of Devon Malcolm, Andy Caddick, who've been left out the last game or two. They'll be keen to prove a point and take their opportunity.
How do you revive your flagging troops at this stage?
Well, everybody writes us off, but that's not a problem. If we play good cricket here, we've got a chance of winning the Test match. We've beaten Australia once so far this summer. We can do it again. And we're 2 matches away from winning the Ashes, so that's how we look at it.
But it really is make or break, isn't it, this Test?
Absolutely, but it's not a bad thing. People know we have to go out and win. That's what we're aiming to do.
And you're bringing in the 2 Hollyoaks as well, so another little problem for you, I suppose.
No problems. Good opportunities for them. I'm sure they'll go out and entertain the crowd.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Just confirmation of the 2 teams for today's game. England, with Darren Gough out, have brought in Caddick and Malcolm down the bottom of the list. And that reads Atherton, Stewart, Crawley at 3. Hussain, Thorpe, the 2 Hollyoaks, Croft, Headley, Caddick and Malcolm. The Australians are unchanged from the side which won so well at Headingley. Confirmation also of the toss, that the Australians won the toss and will bat. And the umpires for today's match, David Shepherd and Cyril Mitchley. And the 3rd umpire will be Alan Jones. And the match referee is the former West Indian Test player, Cammy Smith. Well, let's go out to the centre of the ground now and have a look at the pitch prepared by curator Steve Burks. Geoffrey Boycott awaits us.
This Test match, super sunny day, and we have the best looking pitch of the whole series. You couldn't get a better looking pitch than this. It looks even, it looks flat, it just looks very good for batting. The texture of the pitch, well, I would say about medium pace. It looks even all over, it just looks very good for batting. I don't think there'll be any great pace in it once the new ball's gone after about 20 overs. Obviously the new ball will go through a little bit. Nothing there for the spinners. It just looks to me that, quite frankly, the side batting first should make a lot of runs unless they bat badly, or some bowler has to bowl out of his skin to get wickets on this. All in all, you should be queuing up to bat and make plenty of runs on it.
Well, Geoffrey Boycott thinks this is going to be a beauty. It might just be a little there for the pacemen early on. We join it now in the 2nd over. 5 runs on the board. Dean Headley is the man bowling, and Matthew Elliott is taking straight.
That's nicely pushed through the offside by Matthew Elliott. Straight face of the bat. Robert Croft has been at cover now and mid-off, doing all the chasing this morning so far. Well, that's very, very close. Cyril Mitchley says not out, emphatically, but that was coming back into the left-hander. Have another look at it now. This is shaped beautifully from Dean Headley. It's pitched on, come back a bit. And it's all a question of height. Cyril Mitchley, I can only assume, has decided that was going over the top. That's beautifully bowled too, but that's gone through off the thigh this time. Dean Headley's spot on length here. The line is good. These are real testers.
Yes, he certainly terrorises the left-handers. Good delivery once again, just coming back into Matthew Elliott.
Well, he's got that one through the offside this time. Again off the back foot. This one he watched rather more closely. Well, the eyes have done it for him. The feet have done nothing, really. Well, that was perilously close. Played down apparently safely in defence by Matthew Elliott, but the momentum of the ball and the spin just carried it on. And it's bounced straight down and straight over.
Well, they should know by now that Elliott's pretty good on the short pitch delivery. It's the one where he loses control, where the ball's a bit up above head height. Can't pull it down. He plays the pull stroke very well. That's good execution.
Bowl.
That's landed in front of the man at slip. Malcolm is continuing his good form this morning.
Right in that area, you see, get him playing away from his body, maybe 6 inches outside off stump.
This will give us an idea of how fast the ball goes across the outfield. Yeah, it's good enough. It looks as though you'll get full support for the strokes you play out there. Taylor has turned that nicely. That's rather nice. A bit of fly fishing down the banks of the Trent. Nice sight, Trent Bridge. It's not absolutely packed at the moment, but people are still coming in through the turnstiles. Change in bowling. Andrew Caddick is coming on now. Take the place of Devon Malcolm. And that's the one that just held its own. Just pretty much went straight on.
Well, that was a better shout. That ball just coming back into the left-hander. That's what he's been trying to do at both left-handers. He didn't get the shout from the umpire. Look, that's a good shout. By the time it hits him, pitched outside, when the ball hit him, I think it was fairly straightish. It may just have got outside Nobbert Justin, as we say, and the umpire's given him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, it sounded like two noises there. Inside edge onto pad.
So a second over now for Ben Holyoke. Beautifully played, full face of the bat, and a real punch about that shot from Mark Taylor. Dean Headley. Rightly applauded. Really good chase and recovery there.
Well, it was a good shot in the first place. And the good thing about Dean Headley is he's a very athletic individual. He's just finished a spell bowling from the pavilion end, but he's still very keen to chase after that one and make an excellent stop down there in front of the pavilion.
Well, that's a good shot. Nicely played. No one down there, a third man. Real flexibility in the body there from Matthew Elliott. Just gave himself, made some room for himself. Well, that's a beautiful shot. You know, we've rarely seen Mark Taylor play the balls quite so straight as he is in this particular innings.
Well, it was a good strike of the ball, but the feet movement was nowhere. He really just stood still, and this has been Mark Taylor's problem throughout the series. He hasn't got his feet moving the way English viewers would have seen him moving his feet in the previous two series.
And that's 4. The 50 comes up. Beautifully and delicately played. Plenty of time to play it. Good shot by Matthew Elliott.
In this over, he's just tended to pitch the ball a little bit too short, as Ben Holyoake. To get the swing and the danger to the batsman, he's got to pitch it up a little bit more.
And he does, but he's beautifully played. It was a no ball, in fact. It's good chasing by the England's fielders. Devon Malcolm there races away down. 3 runs to Matthew Elliott. Well, that was short. Not going to get away with too many of those in Test cricket. But then again, young Ben Holyoake may well feel a little nervous. He's bowled a no ball. He's looking for some extra bounce. Got that short gully in, and all sorts of things pound through a young man's mind. Beautifully bowled. Just what Andy Carrick does best. Beautiful line just outside the off stump, and he gets an extra bounce which other bowlers don't get. He is tall, hits the ground hard. That might easily have flown to slip. And under the body this time. And Michael Ashton's made some very good stops there at mid-off. He's quite close, in fact. He's just alongside the stumps. Just wonder if he need be that close.
Beautifully played. Australia move on to 70 without loss. Been very steady progress this morning. 37 now to Matthew Elliott, 32 to Mark Taylor.
Yep.
That's going to be 4 runs. Just for a split second or so, it looked as though it might have cramped him for room. But there's no one down at third man. He got on top of the ball again, guided away off the high part of the bat.
Nicely pushed. Could get 2. No. Yes. Oh, there's a problem. Oh, dear. There was a canter for 2, and then shall we or shan't we, and nearly a mishap. I don't think anybody was really calling there. It was almost a nice little jaunter, saunter down the pitch. Could be 2 that. Shall we? Yeah, well, no. And sort of suddenly there was a bit of trouble. If the throw had been good and strong,
He's gone for that and hit it very well indeed. 2 men are still lurking out there, but there's no bounce in that. It was down the leg side, and that just split the 2 fielders. There's a gap of about 40 yards or so between them. Only just above waist height. Roll his wrists on top of it. It's a very fine shot from Matthew Elliott. And now the older brother, Adam Holyoake, also a debutant in this 5th test. Well, the ploy changed there slightly. Instead of short of wicket and short extra cover, 2 short extra covers. So close together that either or both could have stopped this.
Yep.
And a half-century to Matthew Elliott. That fast outfield is going to test out the two fielders rushing towards it. 3 to Elliott. 87 on the board. There's a nice start for him. And the outfield is quite fast. And it'll quicken up, I reckon, as the game goes on, depending on any rain that might fall. Two good strokes in this over, each of them to the boundary. Headley on both occasions getting the ball to come in the air, just that little bit of in-swing to the left-hander. It's a good stroke from Taylor. Just made enough ground to get himself to the pitch of that.
Comes up the 100 for Australia.
Oh, shot. That's a beauty.
That's a nice way to bring up the 500 for the series, Matthew Elliott. And at a very good average of just over 80. A lovely driver, and he does it so easily.
I would think that's missing leg stump. Looked as though it had darted back quite sharply.
Troubled Taylor occasionally. And this time probably going over the top of the stumps.
It's well bowled. Good bit of bounce there from Dean Headley. Drew Taylor into the stroke.
Beat him for pace as well. Ball was through Taylor before the bat got down.
Nicely played and nicely placed. Looked a remarkable stop there. A charging run for Dean Headley up the deep mid-wicket boundary, right up the rope. Got a bit tangled up with the rope. It's worth seeing again. And the umpire now has signalled 4 runs because the adjudication is that he was in contact with the rope while he was in contact with the ball. Now that's what I think Robert Croft is bowling best to the left-handed batsman, making them stretch a little way. I wouldn't say there's a great deal of rough outside the off stump, but it's interesting, and the odd one has turned. Oh, right through, and an appeal, and the finger goes up. That must be an inside edge. It was a splendid bit of bowling. And Dean Headley really has deserved that. He's whipped a couple back into the left-hander right from the start. Let's take a look at this.
This one, I think, is a faint inside edge. It certainly didn't hit anything else, so if there was a noise at all, which we can't hear from sort of 100 yards away, then it was a faint edge. I don't think he's convinced that he nicked it.
Well, a lot of luck there for Blewett to get him off the mark. Very well bowled. The ball moving away to those 3 slips and a thick inside edge down to fine leg. Really had the batsman groping, and Greg Blewett there almost allowing for a little bit of swing. Let the bat drift away from his front pad. Well, that's a good shot. Just pulled down a little bit too short, and that's the best of Mark Taylor. He took his time, got right back on the stumps and picked his spot on the offside. And picked his spot on the scoreboard too, because he has 50.
Ah, there he is. Well, he's got away with it. But that's nice bowling. Yeah, you could say the batsman's got 4 runs. He hit it reasonably well, but not especially well.
That's really well bowled. And just the proper width to grab a top edge or an outside edge. Fine shot. Not badly bowled either. Well up and just moving away a little, but Greg Blewett's a fine player. And Dean Headley wants some protection out there. Well, beautifully played. Beautifully played. Could always say that it was there for it. It was very short, but still superbly accomplished, that pull shot from Mark Taylor. Mark Taylor moves on to 60.
Now he's going to have a chat to the umpire about the ball. Maybe the fact that Cyril Midgley has gone to speak to David Shepherd could suggest that the seam has split. That's usually one of the few reasons that the umpires will change the ball.
Well, they seem happy now. The batsmen haven't bothered. They don't care. We need to wait for umpire David Shepherd to see if that came off the pad. That's runs to Taylor. And it's 4 runs to Taylor. That takes Mark Taylor past the 6,000 run mark in Test cricket. 147 for 1 Australia. That's nicely placed. The outfield is fast all over and will quicken up as this game goes on. The bowling will need to be quite precise.
So Mark Taylor, the 6th Australian batsman to pass 6,000 runs in Test cricket.
It'll be strike bowling roll for Malcolm, and he's on for his 3rd spell. Taylor has got onto that pretty well, almost as though he might have said to himself, there's a chance this will be a loosener. This is a ball that's been replaced, and Simon Hughes can give us some more information on that.
Well, this is the ball that England have just rejected, and they're quite entitled to do that, of course. The seam has just split, you can see down here, and that's making the ball hard to grip. It's also making it lose its shape. There's not much shine on it either, and really this is just a bad ball. Alan Jones, the 3rd umpire, has said that there's been quite a few bad balls in this particular batch, and the seam splitting there, plus the lack of shine, plus the loss of the shape, means that England are quite entitled to get a new one.
There was a wail of distress there from Andrew Caddick. It's raced away to the boundary. I assume that must have gone slightly in the air. But it certainly went very fast off the bat.
That's well bowled by Devon Malcolm. Greg Blewett just a fraction slow in coming out to meet this. Nearly through. Greg Blewett very much looking for the drive. Oh, that's bowling. Mark Taylor is gone. Well, now that is a pleasant sight for Andy Caddick, to see the back of Mark Taylor, to see the stump out of the ground. Australia's second wicket falling on 160. Really did beat Mark Taylor all ends up. He was a long way away from it with the bat. And he's heard enough. Doesn't need to look back. That's well bowled. Well, this ball very much swinging. It was changed just a few overs ago. The old ball coming apart at the seam, as Simon Hughes showed us, and now Andy Caddick, using this replacement ball, is getting this to go everywhere. Still swinging, but this time Mark Waters places it away. Off the mark for the boundary, guided just behind square on the offside. Well guided. Very nicely played by Greg Blewett. Didn't look a bad delivery at all from Andy Caddick. But again, giving an indication of how easy this pitch is. England operating without a third man. Anything that goes down there off the paceman is going to be four. More runs here. That's a better shot. More off the knee to the bat. And that one was wide from Devon Malcolm. Very nicely bowled. Well, he got the ball to swing for 40. It was a ball that was changed in that afternoon session. The first one gave up the ghost and was replaced by the umpires. Typical Mark Waugh shot, just turning it off his legs. All ease and grace. And well done, John Crawley. Long chase for him. A dive at the end. But at the end, gains nothing, loses nothing. They still run for.
I mean, that's beautifully bowled for a lively, fast medium, tall man, high action, right on a length. That's almost perfection.
That's a very fine delivery.
You know, when you see an odd ball like this passing the bat, it's a beauty, isn't it? Pitches, holds its line, maybe just leaving him, bounces to the keeper.
And a good shot to follow. Such a good shot that third man, who's down there, can't get round to it in time. 4 runs to Greg Blewett. Oh, beautifully bowled. Well, it is frustrating. You can't blame him, Andy Caddick. He's produced another absolute beauty there. The away swinger. And this is a frustrating half hour as far as England are concerned. Again, a good delivery this time from Dean Headley, just cutting away. Good firm push. And 2 runs take Australia on to 201. Just for the loss of 2 wickets. Nicely flicked away. Really does play that well. And no chance of John Crawley catching that one. Absolutely effortless shot by Mark Waugh.
There's certainly plenty of swing out there. Just a loosener from Ben Hollioake, very wide, and he's gone away. Oh, it looks like it might have jammed his, let's see, it's his second or third finger. That's well bowled. A little bit of extra life there. A bit of bounce, surprise Mark Waugh. Nice stroke. Not much more than a defensive shot, and yet it has beaten the fieldsman by a good 20 yards. Good stroke. Once again, Blewett didn't give that a real thrash. It was a good calculated stroke. It's quite a good 50 from Greg Blewett. He's been beaten on the outside edge a few times, but he's overcome that and played some handsome strokes as well. Stewart, well done, good catch. Ben Hollioake is going to be congratulated by everyone here, and so will Stewart be. Teammates at Surrey. That was a beautiful catch. Good anticipation. He decided to go for it. The ball was dropping a little. And Ben Hollioake's first victim. Steve Waugh comes out to join brother Mark.
Well, that would have been extraordinary if Alex Stewart had managed to grab it. It was swinging down the leg side. So far that Mark Waugh actually was a long way away from it with the bat, and that's a painful take for Alex Stewart. That's swung as well. I'll tell you what, Adam Hollioake has got a real bag of tricks in his box there. He's got, everything happens. In, out, slower ball, you name it. He's got this one to come back in again quite a long way. And from somewhere, Mark Waugh conjuring a boundary. That was just timing. Great shot. Well, that'll get Steve Waugh going nicely. Oh, just a fraction away. The inside edge. Just for a moment, looked as though it might be coming back close to those stumps. Back onto the foot, I think. Well, that's good for a shot. Again, Dean Headley is the man who covers the ground so well. And turning a possible 4 into 2 for Devon. Very elegant, and 4 runs. Well done, Dean Headley again. He kept very much in work down there at long leg by the combination of Devon Malcolm and Mark Waugh. And the Australia 250 comes up.
Not a good bounce for Devon Malcolm, however. But there's nothing lost, really, by showing that gap, making the batsman play his drives with the hope of getting the catch at short mid-wicket.
It looks as if they might be going to take the new ball.
But there you are. That's one round to Steve Waugh. Well, that's beautifully timed as well. Wonderfully timed. You see the new ball is costing England runs now. And that's the 50 for Mark Waugh. And runs again, and this is the 50 partnership. Long run for Caddick. Three runs to Mark Waugh. So the new ball is really costing England runs now. It's a pity because a lot of good work's been done. Still, it can all be remedied by a late wicket. Well, that was lucky, very lucky. But with this new ball, 13 runs have come off 9 deliveries with the new ball, but this was the nearest England have come to getting a wicket with it. Oh, outside edge, and that might have gone to hand, but it was wide and flies away for 4 runs. Cracking shot. Well, Steve Waugh's almost waiting on the back foot for those. Terrific crack, square on the offside.
He'll always give these some stick.
That's very well bowled indeed. That was quick. It was much quicker than anything that's gone down over the last half hour. And I'm sure they're moving Devon Malcolm to get finer for this ball, which they had hoped Mark Waugh might have had a swing at, might have tried a hook. Well, I would have liked to be fielding a short gully. Applause right around the ground now for the 300 coming up. 301 for 3, the Australian score.
One more run added to take the final score for Australia along to 302 for 3. Elliott and Taylor got them away to a very good start. Matthew Elliott, 69, played well again. Mark Taylor was in good form before Caddick got a beauty through his defence, 76 for him, and blew it an even 50. Steve Waugh, 38, not out, and Mark Waugh, 60. Wasn't at his best today, but he saw it through to the end and was just running into form. Played some lovely strokes, but every so often there's a little stretch of strokes where he wasn't getting it off the middle of the bat, but tomorrow could be his day. 302 for 3. Bowling figures for England. I thought they did well today. Headley, I thought, was outstanding. Very unlucky as well. 22 overs, 4 maidens, 1 for 72. Malcolm, none for 70, could have had better figures. Caddick, 1 for 54, certainly could have had better figures. Here with Simon Hughes.
Mark, you must have been delighted to win this particular toss, the 5th in a row.
Yeah, it's a lot easier than some of the other tosses I've won in this series so far, with the wickets being a little bit green. This one was obviously a bat-first toss, and I was delighted that we made good use of it today.
You certainly did that.
Yeah, I said, obviously 300 runs in a day's play is good going. All the batsmen got starts. It would have been nice for one of us to make 100, I suppose, but Mark and Steve Waugh at the crease, it'd be nice to see them kick on and make 100 tomorrow.
You joined illustrious company yourself today.
Yeah, 6,000 runs, they tell me. That's obviously a milestone, but you don't play for milestones. You play for enjoyment. You go out of batting and play for the enjoyment of winning test matches, and hopefully my 6,000th run can help us go a long way to winning this test match.
You're very much in the ascendancy as a side over this series now. Can you put your finger on the turning point?
Oh, I think the turning point was probably the day after the first test match, as far as I was concerned. The guys got together and spoke about the fact that we need to improve our cricket, and we've done that. It wasn't just talk, it's been turned into actions, and so far we've turned it around and turned it around well. But as I said, there's still 4 days to go in this test match, and I don't think it's over by any means. We've still got 4 tough days of test cricket left to play.
when you started out this morning, what was the objective? To perhaps put on an opening partnership for a change?
Yeah, I said I think Matthew and I put on 100 odd at Edgbaston in the second innings, but since then, you know, I've made a few low scores, so obviously it would have been good to get a good start like we did today, and then cash in, and that's probably the only thing we didn't do today. But if someone said to me 3 for 302 at stumps, day one, I'd have taken it.
Well, Australian captain Mark Taylor day of this fifth test match between England and Australia at Trent Bridge. A big day for the Australians yesterday, but it could have been so much better for England. I thought they bowled very well and they fielded well. Thought they put up a fine performance and perhaps didn't have all the luck that was going around. This is the way it finished up at the close of the first day. 302 for 3. Now you have Elliott 69 and Taylor 76 getting Australia away to a good start. Blue at 50. Mark Waugh unbeaten on 60. Wasn't always at ease out there and just started to get his act together towards the end of the day. And Steve Waugh accumulated very well and played 1 or 2 brilliant square cuts. Some good stroke play there in that 38. 302 for 3. And the bowling figures, I mentioned not as much luck as they would have cared for there. Malcolm none for 70. Headley 1 for 72. I thought had a good day with the ball and in the field. Caddick 1 for 54, bowled well. It was a beauty that took Taylor's wicket. Ben Holyoake 5 and over from him, 1 for 40. Croft none for 37 from 16, and Adam Holyoake 7 overs, no maiden, and none for 24. Well, there's no doubt that yesterday was the best pitch, the best cricket pitch, so far as I'm concerned, I've seen in the series to date. Geoffrey Boycott's out in the centre now. Tell us what he thinks it might be like on the second day.
Yesterday, Adam Holyoake bowled a ball at Mark Waugh, and there was just a sniff of a chance for Alex Stewart to stump him. Not an easy one, pretty difficult, and that was about the only chance England had all day. What we had was a flat pitch, really flat pitch for England to bowl on. And I thought they did quite well. They got 1 or 2 balls to move, but you can't see where they got the ball to move from. I think it was just a good effort by England. It's a really nice carpet, is this. It's dry. There's no green areas, no grassy areas where the ball should move. There's nothing really for the spinners at all. I thought they did well to keep their chins up and battle on, and they got nothing for good balls, and I think it's going to be the same today. It looked as if it's going to be misty, foggy, but look, the sun's coming out, it's going to be flat for batting, no great pace. Unless they can sneak a wicket or 2 with a new ball, I'm afraid England are in for a very long, hard day chasing runs.
Well, it sounds as though there could be a little bit of leather hunting, but I have the feeling England again will bowl well and that the Australian batsmen today will have a much harder time of it. We join play now in the third over. Andrew Caddick is the bowler. Mark Waugh is taking strike, and 1 run has been added to the overnight total. Needed to have come back a long way to get that. Mark Waugh could be out OBW, not playing a stroke. It's no way the umpire could be certain that was going to hit off stump. Wouldn't have missed it by very much.
Well, it's a cruel game, isn't it? Pretty good shout for LBW, not playing a shot, and then little leg glance, 4 runs.
He's done him again with the leg glance. Well, that will be very frustrating for Andrew Caddick. An LBW appeal turned down. 2 leg glances when he's straight around about leg stump.
Well, another good aggressive over. Just like yesterday. Every good ball seemed to miss the edge of the bat. Oh, he's given him. Well, you bowl well, Andrew Caddick, and something will go for you. Well bowled. He bowled really well yesterday, and he's carried on this morning.
Just a question if he got his left foot outside the line of the stumps when it hit him. The answer to that is obviously no, from the fact that umpire Shepherd decided he'd only made a tiny stride. and Carrick has taken the wicket. Ricky Ponting is the man coming out, the young player who came into the Headingley Test match and tore things apart when he walked out at Australia 50 for 4.
Oh, that's that half volley he sometimes shoves in like he did yesterday. It's such an easy ball, lovely shot, but it's right up there in the slot.
Steve Waugh was moving quickly, but I suspect a direct hit would have meant another wicket down. It was beautifully fielded away out at cover point by Nasser Hussain. As though Ponting might have been there just a little bit too soon with the stroke. It could have been slower delivery. Well, that was pretty well bowled. There were shouts there. They thought that was through Steve Waugh's defence. In fact, he's clubbed it away past square leg for 4. For 9, Ricky Ponting falls to Dean Headley. Look from the angle we are here that he gave it a bit of an assist on. But that's just reward for Dean Headley.
A little bit of a change to the scoreboard. 325 now for 5. And this has been a good fight back. Dropping short. Ian Healy's first ball edged away.
Yes, it was always going down, and I think you'll find it landed just in front of Adam Holyoake. So he saved a certain 4.
Oh, that's away over the slips cordon. England on the attack this morning. 3 slips, couple of gullies, therefore no one at third man. That's taken by Alex Stewart. Now, Ian Healy is in some obvious pain. Yeah, the appeal was on the basis that it might have come off the handle of the bat. Elbow or wrist, it's... well, the decision is obviously not out. If you have cracked a bone, then that is not much fun at all.
Once again, that extra bounce that Carrick's been getting. And on this occasion, he's giving Steve Waugh a bit of a problem.
Ball's just not carrying for Dean Headley. That's the second time in 2 overs now that the edge has dropped short of the slips cordon. Well, that's the perfect retort from Steve Waugh. Very quickly onto the back foot. Very easily finding the middle of the bat. And in the process, reaching 52 not out. And then the next ball is an absolute peach. They really have bowled well this morning. Well, it's one of the rare loose deliveries this morning. Andy Caddick has been very persistent. Well, big shout. It's come way back. Come a long way through the inside, and the question, well, the answer as far as David Shepherd is concerned is that it hasn't hit the inside edge. There was one yesterday, Matthew Elliott, given out under very similar circumstances. It's a good decision. Good decision. It's far too good for him. That's a firm stroke. Again, the response very good from Ian Healy. Well beaten from the ball before. Right in position for this one. Stops a couple of inches inside the rope, and they run 4. Well run. Well, Ian Healy keen to get down to the striker's end. Steve Waugh taken maybe just a little bit by surprise.
I think the main thing that Steve Waugh was worried about, the ball may have been spinning around in the crease, and there's always the worry as a batsman that it might just go back onto the stumps. I think he hung on for an extra second just to make sure that it wasn't going to suddenly spin back onto his stumps.
He's held that away rather well. I wonder he was keen to get on strike. Devon Malcolm not yet at full pace, his first over of the morning. And it would be a shame now if a poor spell here just relieved the pressure on the Australian batsmen. They've had to work very hard in this first hour. That's a nice, comfortable catch. Well, perfect response this time from Devon Malcolm. Hooked away for 4 from the previous delivery. He got that ball up there of full length. And the edge went straight into the midriff of Adam Hollioake at second slip. Ian Healy, the 6th man out. The score on 355, and he's gone for 16.
And Shane Warne's the new batsman. Swung off the bat that time, swung very gently in the air, an away swinger. But of course it's not sufficient to see the ball swinging. If it swings early, it's very easy to pick out. That was beautifully pulled. I think it was aided by the footwork of the batsman. That's Shane Warne.
Well, I think with the naked eye here, I almost saw Shane Warne backing away. But it was a beautiful delivery.
And that's another wicket gone. Just where Devon Malcolm wanted it. Graham Thorpe the catcher. Very well caught. But that's the slot, well up just outside off stump and swinging away, drawing the batsman into the positive stroke. But Shane Warne goes for naught.
Well, this is terrific to see, because I think most people at the end of yesterday were expecting Australia to go on and get a very big score here on this beautiful Trent Bridge wicket.
Paul Rifle is the incoming batsman.
363 for 7 gives England a very good chance now.
Great shot. Not only brutal, but stylish. And again. Unfortunate for England that the gentle away swing of Ben Hollioake is very predictable, and that's why Steve Waugh was able to launch himself into those square cover drives. Well, they call for some adjudication from the camera and third umpire.
Rifle setting off, and well, it was a good bit of fielding, but Rifle managed to get back.
Well, I'm not sure. I think that might be 4.
Yes, I think Nasser Hussain just slightly mistimed it. They missed the first attempt to drag the ball back from the boundaries rope with his hand, and in sliding towards the rope he had to try and stop it again, and sure enough, with his legs over the boundaries rope, that will be signalled 4 runs.
Oh, that was a cracking shot. It's obviously wrong to think of Rifle as a tail ender. He's not going to flinch, even though that was quite quick. It was extremely short. Well, he just smashed that away. Here's Geoffrey Boycott.
Well, he threw the kitchen sink at that. He stays back to all sort of medium fast bowling. He tends to stay back and then comes forward, but it was wide enough and he just threw everything at it.
And that's it. That's the length. And Steve Waugh goes. A chat to the captain, renewed concentration by Devon Malcolm, and he whips one through Steve Waugh's defence. Gillespie makes his way to the middle to join Paul Rifle.
Not far off another one. That was well bowled. Plenty of pace. Bit too much pace for the slip fielder.
Well, I think what we'll see is that third slip is nearly fourth slip. He's a bit wide, actually. And he has a lot of ground to cover there, but it was definitely catchable.
That's a wonderful stroke. The Rifle showed at Headingley that he was a very strong player of both back and front foot on the offside. That's a good-looking shot.
Width is the key here. It's giving him a bit of width, and he's got punished for it.
Two more to Jason Gillespie. 400 is up, and that will look much better to the Australians. It's in the air, but it's safe, and it's gone a long way out towards the boundary. It landed, I reckon, just about 20 yards in from the boundary at deep third man. Neatly taken, perfectly straightforward, but still has to be taken by the man at first slip. Graham Cook took a good one earlier. Now Rifle has gone for 26. That's well bowled by Headley.
Yes, just a little more full in length on that occasion, so that Rifle wasn't able to play the square cut or the square drive, and just playing forward in defence.
.427 all out. Good performance from England today. Australia 302 for 3. The start of play, and now 427 all out. Headley, another wicket. Good performance. Yes, it was a good performance from Headley. I thought he was the pick of the bowlers, but there wasn't much in it. In looking at the England bowlers today, they all did well. 427 for the Australians. They'll be disappointed at that, but not over-disappointed, because it gives them the chance to have a go at England. Today, Steve Waugh 75, and a good knock from Rifle again to follow his half-century at Headingley. Bowling figures for England. There's Headley on the second line, 30.5 overs, 7 maidens, 4 for 87. I thought he came back very well after the disappointment, as it must have been at Headingley. And Malcolm 3 for 100 bowled well. So too Caddick. I thought they were very, very good, and they fought hard all the way through. Ben Hollyoak took the other wicket. So 427 for England to look at, with Atherton and Stewart going out to bat. And we join play now with the first ball of the second over. Paul Rifle is the bowler, and Alex Stewart is taken straight.
Well, talk about sweetly timed. That one's raced away. Just the sort of start you need. Nice juicy ball on leg stump. Oh, poor Rifle just starting to get into his stride now. This is the same end from which Dean Headley was swinging the ball away from the Australian right-handers.
That's a better length. He genuinely played at that. Couldn't do much about it. That was a beauty. He's played at that, and it's rising as it goes past him.
That one's in the gap. It's going to run away nicely down to third man. A chase for Steve Waugh. All to no avail. That's a good shot. Lots of bat on ball. Pushed very firmly all the way to the boundary at long on. Nice offering, peace offering as it were, from Glenn McGrath. Might be the last one he gets for a while.
I like it. Well, that's quite elegant from Alex Stewart. He's usually quite a thumper of the ball, but he just eased that square on the offside. Beautiful stroke. This is the sort of game that Michael Atherton was actually born for, I think. Australia, tense test match, a lot on his shoulders. He seems to revel in that sort of responsibility. Oh, beautifully bowled. There's always one of those in this pitch. We've just seen it right throughout the day. We saw those 7 wickets fall this morning. Just look at this. Just slanting into the batsman, leaving him and lifting as well. Ooh, that almost got through and the arms went up behind. Just for a moment, Stewart getting into quite a tangle there, and he's trying to get the legs going, hopping around. Perhaps just a sluggish reaction.
In the air, just past that man at short mid wicket. 4 runs. Greg Blewett is the man who's been posted 10 yards or so from the bat on the leg side. Oh, that's perfectly timed. Beautifully played by Alex Stewart. All he did was just use the pace of the ball. And look at that. Well, that's a better delivery. It's, I'm afraid, for him, the same result. It's enough to bring up the England 50. It's the third boundary of the over, but whereas the other two were off the middle of the bat, this one very much off the edge. Flying away there into the gap. Well, that might be the best shot of the over. Very productive over indeed for England, and all the runs coming to Alex Stewart. 18 of them. And that's done a lot just to shift the balance of power this afternoon. Misfields. Well, it bobbled a bit. That is bobbled pretty firmly too, way off the hands. 4 runs.
Well, Shane Warne may not have much sympathy for Paul Rifle, but I'm sure Devon Malcolm will. Devon, fielding in this same position yesterday, got a rotten bounce, as did Paul Rifle there.
Well, nice use of the feet. Well, pretty handy use of the bat too. Oh, great shot. What a great way to go to 50. Well, it looks pretty cool under there. Well, this has been a very exciting 50 played by Alex Stewart, much appreciated by this crowd. Ooh. Well, that's the way to take the attack back to any bowler. Just pitching short of the boundary rope. Well, it's safe. It's cleared the slips comfortably. Michael Atherton has been content to play the defensive role of this partnership up until now.
Anything like an attempted flipper or top spinner, Shane Warne's not going to get the sort of hurrying on pace or bounce that he gets in Australia or even South Africa. This pitch is medium slow, so it's halfway down the pitch. It doesn't hurry on and keep low. That's the best way. Encourage him to go over the top, and it's very interesting cricket to watch.
100 up for England. Beautifully bowled, that's got him. Michael Atherton drawn outside the off stump. And a lovely piece of work too by Ian Healy. So the breakthrough has come for Australia. They've been patient. They've been made to wait until the 27th over.
John Crawley, the new batsman.
Yeah, no, this was beautifully bowled by Shane Warne. So 1 down, the score was 106. John Crawley promoted to number 3 for this test match.
Lovely shot for 4. Wonderful fielding. Pretty good shot, but in the end, Stewart probably didn't want to play any stroke at it because it was getting up a bit high on him. In the air, but just away from the fieldsman. This is Stewart at his best. Oh, he's got it. Now, umpire Shepherd's going to ask if it was caught cleanly. It was caught cleanly, or so it appeared from here. Didn't seem to be a problem. And Alex Stewart knew he was going to be given out there. I don't know if he could see that Healy took it. That's bad luck for him. He's on 87, and he's missed out on his first 100 against Australia. But Warne has picked him up with a big spinning delivery. England 129 for 2. Nasser Hussain is the new batsman. It's another example of some brilliant wicket-keeping that has now brought Ian Healy 300 victims as catches in Test cricket.
Oh, it's in the air.
Big slice of luck here for Hussain. Really big slice. Oh, I bet his heart was in his mouth for a while.
Oh, bowled in, beautifully bowled, and Hussain at 6s and 7s.
No, it was really good bowling. He spun it, pitched it up, teased Nasser Hussain. Wasn't quite sure what shot to play. I reckon it was up there enough to sort of drive to the onside, but then you're driving against the spin, and he didn't want to drive. He wanted in the end to just stop it. Oh, master craftsman at work.
So Graham Thorpe is the man in next, left-handed batsman, different proposition for Shane Warne. Glenn McGrath has had one warning from the umpire for running down the middle of the pitch. If he's warned again, he'll be told that's his final warning. And they go up, and that's out. Brilliant catch. McGrath traps John Crawley, and that's poor news for England. It's a brilliant cricket by Australia now, absolutely on top, and they're thrilled to see Crawley go.
Here's a man who's got a determined look on his face, Adam Holyoke.
After a fine start, collapse.
That's a good stroke. Kept that down nicely. He just went with the ball. Didn't attempt to hit it too hard.
Oh, great shot. Well, it's been the story of this pitch. Anything short and wide, and there's been fair game for the batsman. That's 4 runs. Nice shot indeed. Beautifully played.
And 4 runs added to take England's final score at stumps on the second day of this Cornhill Test to 188 for 4. Great start from Atherton and Stewart, 27 and 87 respectively. John Crawley 18 and Nasser Hussain 2. And then a good partnership taking them through unbroken to the end. Graham Thorpe 30 not out. And Adam Holyoke, very cool under pressure in his first Test match. He's only made 15, but he looked okay out there. 188 for 4. And then the Australians, McGrath, 1 for 32, 16 overs and 5 maidens. Bowled well. So did Rifle. If ever figures can lie, they are there in front of you. Rifle, 12 overs, 1 maiden, none for 53. Bowled pretty well, I thought. Gillespie, none for 45, was expensive. And Shane Warne, a wonderful exhibition of leg spinning, 22 overs, 7 maidens, and 3 for 53. Now, this is the state of play at stumps on the second day of this Cornhill Test. England 239 runs behind, 427 against 188 for 4, with Warne 3 for 53. Well, there's plenty to talk about, not just on the first day, but over the first 2 days. There's been some brilliant cricket here. Here's Geoffrey Boycott, and with him Ian Chappell.
It was a terrific day's cricket. Lots of runs and wickets. England winning the first 2 sessions with splendid bowling, and then Alex Stewart's batting, but those Australians, they really came back in the last session.
Yes, it was. I think probably the best day's Test cricket we've seen, because it was a great contest. I thought England bowled exceptionally well in the first session, then finished off the Australian innings. They got away to a good
5th Test match at Trent Bridge. We've had 2 wonderful days so far, real cut and thrust cricket, just the way you would hope Test match cricket would be played. And this is the way they started off on the 3rd morning. 188 for 4, England in their first innings. In reply to that, 427. Stewart 87, Atherton 27, Crawley 18, and the 2 men not out there playing very well. Graham Thorpe showing good temperament, 30 not out, and Adam Hollioake on his debut looked very, very calm out there and looked a good player. 15 for him, and the figures for the Australian bowlers: McGrath 1 for 32, and Warne 22 overs, 7 maidens, 3 for 53. Bowled really well yesterday. It was a delight to watch him in action. So this is the way it looks at the start of the 3rd morning. England 239 behind. They have a chance if Thorpe and Hollioake can get cracking this morning, but there is quite a bit of work to do. Now, yesterday, Shane Warne did get some work off the pitch. He spun it, and he got a bit of bounce as well with his overspin. Let's find out from Geoffrey Boycott now what he thinks might be happening today.
Yesterday, Shane Warne bowled Nasser Hussain out with an absolute beauty. Flight and spin deceived him, and he's going to be the problem today for England. We look at this pitch, lovely sunny day. The pitch hasn't changed much. It's still flat and good, nice medium pace. We have a look here on this foothold. This was where Glenn McGrath was warned for running on the pitch. 5 feet down, this is the bit, this white spot here, 5 feet down, 12 inches from middle stump. But here are his stud marks, and Shane Warne's going to be aiming into that. That's a bit full, but it can still cause a few problems. Further down, this is outside leg stump, but if he hits the edge of this, the ball may do anything, may scuttle, may bounce, and he's going to be trying to bowl into these footmarks as well as bowl on the pitch itself, which is still pretty flat, but he's a top bowler. He's got a range of spin and variety, and I think he'll be the one that'll cause problems to England, because the rest of the pitch is pretty flat and good, and only occasionally does the ball seam a bit.
Well, it sounds as though there could be something there for Shane Warne today, and we do know that he's a great bowler. We're going to join him now in the 4th over. He's bowling to Adam Hollioake. 2 runs have been added to the overnight total. Oh, nice shot. He's played that very well. 50 stand between these 2. Steve Waugh, the man who put it down.
Thorpe fooled by the slower ball, and he spoons an easy catch to Steve Waugh. Steve Waugh couldn't believe that he'd grasped it.
Well, it's a good over from McGrath. It's worth watching McGrath to see how he reacts to this now. A drop catch and then a thick edge which has landed 3 parts of the way to second slip. Oh, what a great piece of fielding from the fast bowler who's been in the attack at the pavilion end this morning. You won't see anything better than that. It helps if you're about 6'7". Brilliant stroke. That's the same shot he played yesterday, but he played a bit squarer this time. He gives himself a little bit of room and opens up his body, plays it out on the offside. That's a good shot. off his toe. Some shouts at first. Bowler and fieldsman weren't quite sure, but Taylor knew. Almost as though Thorpe was waiting for that one. One of his favourite strokes.
There's not a lot of pace in this pitch. Thorpe has hit a few good pull shots off McGrath in the series, but McGrath equally has troubled him around off stump. I was delighted to see that David Gower just had a quick glance at his watch there, Rich. Mind you, he is a very fit young man. He could dash up those stairs in a couple of minutes and not be out of breath.
Oh, it's eventually got through in on there. There'll be a couple here for Graham Thorpe.
Well, it's been a fascinating contest between Glenn McGrath and Graham Thorpe this morning. And I think at this stage, honours are even.
I had the feeling there was just a little inside edge on that. Seemed to be a bit of a noise. Let's have another look and listen.
Well, there was certainly an impassioned plea by Shane Warne. And, well, difficult to tell from there. I think also the ball going down the leg side.
That's a good shot. Given just a little bit of space outside the off stump. And hit it really well.
Well, this is good cricket. Slightly short, not really that wide, but Adam Holyoake giving himself a little bit of room. Finding the gap on the offside superbly well.
Well, that's good cricket all round. Tossed up invitingly by Shane Warne. Nicely struck and brilliantly fielded again. Mark Waugh made a similar very fine stop in that same position yesterday afternoon.
There's Devon Malcolm, can afford to put his feet up for a while.
Very nice to see.
That, I think, was still a little bit too high to play, but he decided to take it on.
Slower ball, nicely spotted and well played. Just had to wait for it and placed it straight down the ground. 3 runs, good enough to take Graham Thorpe to 50. Very important runs for Graham Thorpe and for England. Oh, just over the top. Well, it looked a mighty fine effort from Shane Warne, but it was wide and high. That's a good shot. Perfectly placed through the onside, so chase for Matthew Elliott. A successful one at that. Got to hurry, got to hurry. Well, that was close.
Well, there was a little bit of hesitation. Holyoake hit the ball into the gap, or what he thought was a gap, set off, but then wasn't so sure. Had that hit the stumps, I think Holyoake would have been on his way.
Good straight thump of the bat there. Well, that moved all right. That moved at the middle of the bat. And that brings up the 100 partnership.
Well, it's good balls for Paul Rifle interspersed with rubbish, isn't it? There you are.
In the air, and that's out. So Paul Rifle gets his wicket. And Adam Holyoke is cursing himself. He was just pushing into that little uncertain area with a positive stroke on a firm bat. And it flew off to Taylor, of course, who doesn't drop many of those. So he goes to 45. Ben Holyoke, another international debut with the bat. Yes, gone, and that's out. Graham Thorpe played so often with his pad outside the off stump, but of course the extreme danger areas there.
That's what I was mentioning this morning on the pitch report. If he gets it just on the edge of that foot mark, well, he looked to be mainly off the glove, but I don't think there was much doubt.
Blewett took the catch, Warner's the bowler. Graham Thorpe goes to 53. New batsman now is Robert Croft. Well, that was a hopping sort of defensive prod, which might well have run back on the stumps there. Well, that's very positive. We've been saying for test matches now, someone's actually got to get out there and try and dominate. I'm not sure if you call this domination, but it was a good shot, nicely middled, and shows a bit of courage. Nicely read by Croft this time. The flipper rushing onto him. Good little nudge, and that goes for 2. So 8 runs off that over. Good over for England.
Ben Holyoke off the mark. A touch of insouciance, and it's away through mid-on, mid-wicket. And off the edge, but very safe, went down. Six down now, England, and still 168 runs behind. Well, that's a perfectly good shot. Authentic cover drive. Just that little bit over-pitched by Shane Warne, a genuine half volley from him, but very nicely put away. Well, that one not quite so authentic. It's still going to be 4 runs. A new ball being taken straight away. No mucking around. Beautifully played. Well, it didn't seem quite that short. It was obviously short enough. David Shepherd just sidestepping nimbly.
Well, sidestepping anyhow.
Nicely bowled. That's the line, having reminded Robert Croft of his earlier problems, the problems posed in previous games by the bouncer. That was the perfect line. Nice simple chance taken at short leg. Well, Glenn McGrath still has full control over Robert Croft. He'll be mortified by that. It really was the simplest of chances popped up to Greg Blewett. So the first session of play on this third morning comes to a close on a sour note for England.
Cracking shot. It asked for it. It was a bad line from Paul Rifle, but it was beautifully struck and the timing was excellent. Beautiful stroke. 4 more runs, and how England could do with an hour of this.
Powerful lad. He's almost a boy with a man's body. Terrific size he is.
It was short, but it was a little bit quicker. Perhaps it bounced a bit more, but some serious and brutal intentions there from Holyoke. This time he hits it. Beautifully played. 4 runs. And that's more a triumph of the mind than of technique. He played and missed one, and then suddenly, not deterred, cracks the next one to square leg. In the air court, and it's goodbye. Mark Waugh took that so simply. Well, it was a straightforward catch, but it was well taken. Rifle gets his reward. He's just got that line going nicely now and again, and Ben Holyoke, looking to play the positive stroke, goes to 28. I think he can be very happy indeed with that Test match debut.
Dean Headley, the new batsman.
And every run now mattering for England. That's it, that's out. Hear the little nick, and McGrath does the trick again, caught by Healy. And Caddick goes. So the rally down the order wasn't to happen. You can't blame the batsmen. They're basically there to do the bowling, but it would have been nice to have squeezed a few runs out of the tail.
Well, just a nicely pitched up delivery, and he nicked it really. Good length, good line.
Well, there's always such a great cheer when Devon Markham comes to the crease. You think it was George Headley or Garfield Sobers. It's merely immortal.
Yeah, but I hope he's not looked towards the groundsman, because he started up the roller.
Olé, there we go. Look at the response to that. Devon, Devon.
I'm speechless. What a shot, Dev.
It flies away. .298. That 300 might still come up. Well, there's a huge certainty about Devon Markham's batting. The certainty is that he knows he can't bat, that he can't block, that he can hit. Nice shot. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. It was in the air. It just went behind square. But he's quite entitled to give it a crack if it's up there. Another whack. And that too will be 4 runs. I don't think it mattered at all to Devon Malcolm where the ball pitched. Just a question of one plain, one pearl. Well, it's all over. Full marks at Glenn McGrath because he realised that whacking it in wasn't all that profitable. Then he produced a beach ball, and it was all over for Devon Malcolm.
That's the Steve Waugh delivery out the back of the hand so that it gets a bit of loop, and obviously at one stage it looked like to Devon Malcolm as though it was going to be a bit of a hand ahead. He was getting ready to jump out of the way, but as you quite rightly described it, he jumped over the top of it. Nice bit of hurdling.
Indeed it was, and England's innings came to an end at 313. Malcolm 12, Headley not out 10, and the tail wagged a bit there. Andrew Caddick didn't do anything, but the others made certain that England were able to get up above the 300 mark. Bowling figures for the Australians. They worked very hard out there, as indeed the England bowlers had to do. McGrath 4 for 71, 29.5 overs, taking the last wicket with that very good slower delivery. Rifle 2 for 101, harshly dealt with on occasions, but I thought bowled pretty well, particularly early on. Gillespie is expensive here, none for 47 in 11. And Shane Warne, a lovely exhibition yesterday, and bowled well again today, 32 overs, 8 maidens, and 4 for 86. At the end of the England innings, that was the situation, 427 against 313. The Australians 114 runs ahead. We're going to join the first ball of the third over of the Australian second innings. Devon Malcolm is the bowler. Mark Taylor, the Australian skipper, is taking strike. There are 2 runs already on the board. Taylor played that pretty well, but it was a good delivery. It bounced a little more than he might have expected.
Four runs, just easily steered away. Just take a good stride down the pitch, Matthew Elliott, and gets his head in a good position. But all he's done here is just open the face. Very definite play and a miss from Mark Taylor. Well beaten by that one. Oh, beautifully played. Robert Croft, the only man in front of square on the leg side. He's going to be about 10 yards short of that. Fine shot. There to be hit, and Matthew Elliott in this sort of form isn't going to miss out.
Well, he has been in terrific form in this match. And that was a cracking shot. No chance of anyone getting anywhere near that.
Four runs. No one down at third man, just 2 slips in the gully behind square on the offside. 4 more runs. Well, it was in the air, cut away again by Matthew Elliott, but intentionally or not, the placement was good. Nowhere near any of the slips or the gully. Oh, beautifully played. Well, he launched into that. That's come back a long way. That was a good delivery from Dean Headley. Now let's have another look at it.
It's fairly straight. It's pitched on, but it's bounced and is going well over the top of the stumps.
He's timed that pretty well. Perhaps not completely off the full face of the bat, but it's still raced across this very quick outfield, and Elliott is in super touch. Real Panama hat day today. Out there, they may even have thrown the Panama hats away. There's a man out at deep square leg, and they'll still pick up 2. 50 stand for Elliott and Mark Taylor. Elliott has really dominated the batting out there. He's played some lovely shots. 37 for him and 12 for Taylor. Now there's a man out there. Oh, what a catch. What a catch. Elliott won't know whether or not it's been caught. In fact, he's asking the umpire, but John Crawley is the man out there. Elliott will go because Crawley says he's caught it. It has taken a long time for the trap to work, but work it has.
Oh, that's a tremendous catch. That's a slips catch taken 80 metres from the bat. And Crawley has enjoyed every second of it. Matthew Elliott shaking his head, but he's gone for 37. Greg Blewett is the number 3 for Australia.
First wicket down for the Australians, the cost of 51.
Big shot, LBW there.
Well, I don't think he got outside from that LBW appeal. He was very much in line. Just watch how the ball hits the foot. Oh, I tell you, he's a lucky man.
Almost a repeat of that LBW shot, of very full length, but slightly too full this time. That's Croft chasing away there. But you could hear it was quite a meaty shot from Taylor.
Oh, it's a good shout.
Another good shout. He's getting that late ball to duck into the left-hander. Well, he just picks it off. There's no third man. And you could honestly say he deliberately chopped it over, sliced it over the slips. 4 runs. That's well played. That's 4 runs. Beautifully played. Short arm, clipped it.
It's a good shot. He was onto that very quickly. Oh, I don't think he'd be too pleased with that either. It looked to me as though Devon Malcolm was having a little bit of trouble getting down there. Well, depends how fast Caddick goes, but there's at least 3 there. $100 up for Australia in their second innings after obtaining a lead of 114. Must be out. Yes, Taylor has gone for the hook off Ben Hollioake. Holyoake has dismissed him for 45. And Taylor will be livid at that, I would think. It was a looping delivery that came at him after hitting the pitch. And he will hardly be able to believe that he's fallen for that.
Taylor and Elliott both back in the hutch. Greg Blewett not out 21. Mark Waugh yet to face his first delivery. Well, that's a good shout. Just that little bit of in-drift. Nervy times for Mark Waugh. Still to get off the mark. They need to run for that one. 4 runs straight away the moment it left the bat. Runs coming quickly at both ends now. Robert Croft will be a bit late for the World Athletics Championship. Well, it makes no difference, it seems. Andy Caddick hits straight down the ground there for 4. He's given it straight away. The finger's shot up.
Well, there may well have been 2 noises, but I think it caught him a little quicker than he expected. It hurried on, hit the pad, and maybe he then caught the ball, but I think it was pad first. I think it was a good decision by the umpire.
First Waugh replaced by the second Waugh.
For Greg Blewett. Devon Malcolm, the fieldsman. So half centuries in both innings of this match for the young South Australian. Good effort. And that can only have hit one thing. It's got to have hit the bat. Can't have hit any part of his body. It's not the sort of ball you would expect to get a wicket all the time, but it's picked up Greg Blewett. He's just assisted it round. It may even have come off the blade of the bat in the middle, rather than an edge.
The new batsman, Ricky Ponting.
That was very, very quick from Devon Malcolm. Despite the pace of this pitch, which has been mainly medium to easy. They all need to run for that.
Two more runs added to take the final score there along to 167 for 4. Some dicey moments there for the Australians towards the end. If England had picked up 2 more wickets, we'd just be raising an eyebrow at the possibility of a very, very good England victory. 167 for 4 is better for the Australians, though, with 60 for Greg Blewett. Top score for him. Taylor and Elliott once again did well, and Waugh and Ponting, the not-out batsman, tomorrow morning. Now then, England in their second innings. Malcolm none for 32, bowled better than that. Headley 1 for 41, Croft none for 22. And I thought Caddick was the best of the bowlers. He bowled well in the first innings also, 14 a day. Andrew Caddick is bowling it. Steve Waugh is taking strike.
And it's the Australians taking advantage straight away. Steve Waugh striking that first ball in the morning away very, very easily, it seems.
Well, it's quite remarkable that Steve Waugh can come out and play a shot like that, the first ball.
Straight away into the hands. Adam Holyoake at second slip. That was a brute of a delivery. Well, that seemed to come from nowhere. Steve Waugh just couldn't get out of the way. could do no more than fend it away, lob it to second slip.
Andrew Carrick has managed to get some life out of this pitch. He's been one of the few England bowlers to get extra bounce from this wicket.
And Ian Healy, first ball from him, a swinging delivery from Andy Caddick. Launching himself into the drive, good delivery, but very poor shot. Four more. Well, Ian Healy missed with his first essay at a forcing shot. That one a little easier for him. Too short, too wide. The edge will go for 4. Nicely bowled by Dean Headley. Getting close to the stumps at the bowler's end, getting that ball to move away from the right-hander. Now, the ferry obviously a bit late in from Denmark this morning. Ben Hollioake, no chance of catching that. Wasn't as fiercely struck as the cut in the previous over from Andy Caddick, but England risking all. Nice adjustment by Ian Healy. There is a third man now, Ben Hollioake.
Well, a certain amount of frustration there from Andy Caddick, beating the outside edge with another beauty. But it double bounced on the way through to Alex Stewart.
Real test that for Alex Stewart. He needed a stepladder, really. Or at least some sort of springboard. Nice shot from Ian Healy, right up there in the slot for him. Banged away through extra cover. Andy Caddick this time with the perfect throw. Chase now for Devon Malcolm. He's quick over the ground. Lovely shot. This time the ball just too quick for Devon Malcolm. A lovely shot from Ricky Ponting.
So Devon Malcolm now to Ian Healy. And there he goes for it. Caddick very slow to move. 4 runs. It's very slow to move. I don't think he picked it up at all. But Devon Malcolm could see his tall, fast bowling partner standing out there like a statue for those vital seconds.
Yep.
And that's a nice shot. But that's the place to bowl as well. Bring the man forward to play the drive. It's running along there quickly as Michael Atherton makes the recovery. 3 runs. Oh, well stopped. Beautiful shot. That's a shame. You could just hear the ball slap into the palm of the hand there.
I think he's already got a bit of a sore hand, Nasser Hussain. That one won't help because it was beautifully hit.
What a cracking shot. And that was picked up so quickly.
Yes, I think there's a lot of people in Australia could tell Devon that on this sort of pitch, he's wasting his time trying to get rid of Ponting in that manner.
Just finds the gap. Wasn't badly bowled at all, but it's beautifully played, and that'll be 4 runs. Wonderful effort by Ben Holyoke out there. Pretty unattractive proposition, taking a dive at the perimeter advertising. Well, he just murders that short ball. They both murdered the short ball.
Well, this has really been the story of this cricket match the whole way through. Wickets falling at regular intervals, but lots of boundaries in between.
Healy 36 and Ponting 27. In the air, and that's sailed down over the third man boundary. All this short bowling has just been swatted away. What are you laughing at?
The thought of being a batsman in with Ian Healy, it would be quite annoying actually, because here's Ricky Ponting, who's no slouch. Healy hasn't come in till the third ball of the morning, and he's already 13 runs in front of the batsman. I think if I was batting with Healy, I'd say, listen, mate, stop making a monkey of me, would you?
And that's the place to bowl.
This is the problem for English bowlers, for me. They bowl some really good balls. Got a wicket with a good ball, but 75 runs, 13 overs. I mean, to run a ball. I mean, you just can't play Test cricket like that, I'm sorry. Not if you want to win.
Nice take, save 4 byes. That's when you're desperate, if you don't want to see byes go up against your name, and the ball's slanting away down the leg side and is likely to finish up at deep fine leg. It's a good shot.
It looked a very good piece of fielding by Graham Thorpe. He flicked it back before he went over the line. Beautifully bowled. Perfect. Every time he bowls it fairly full, just outside off stump, he creates problems for either Healy or Ponting. That is the area. He's seen where mistake nearly came.
That's quite colourful and fetching. Oh, picked up beautifully. There's a man out there, but that has evaded him. And straight over the top of his head. Ian Healy now goes the 1 away for half century. He is a tough customer. That's a good half century from Ian Healy. He's an outstanding reader of the game. He came out there today and he wasn't put off in the slightest by Steve Waugh's dismissal. That's fine stroke. Beautiful throw, just chipped away quite deliberately. That's a pretty good shot.
Well, it was good cricket, really. Adam Holyoke trying to swing the ball and tempt him to go for a drive wide of the stumps, and he did, and he played it gorgeously.
Catch it.
Could be. It's out of Devon Malcolm's reach. Now that's pretty good cricket from Atherton and Robert Croft. Robert Croft put the man back at long on to cut out the lofted stroke from Healy's repertoire, so he's tried to go over mid-off. No, it was well out of Malcolm's reach.
Well, this extraordinary partnership, they're now worth 100. 101 in just 91 minutes. That's caught. The legs goes through to Alex Stewart. Ian Healy's brilliant good knock of 63 comes to an end. But that was absolutely ideal for the circumstances this morning. And, well, he's done everything that his captain could have wished for. A little thin nick goes through to Alex Stewart. Did well to catch that. Only just carried to him. And now Shane Warne is in on a pair. Oh, that's missed. Oh, stumping's gone. Not an easy one.
In fact, I would have thought a very difficult one. It may well have gone between the legs of Ricky Ponting, and it may also have just clipped the pad, and that could explain why Alex Stewart didn't get it in the middle of the gloves. I think it's flicked his leg.
Croft was enthusiastic. No stroke played, so the batsman could be out OBW. Now, I think it was going all right for a moment or two until he suddenly realised the umpire said no. Well, that looks as though it carried, and it did. Ricky Ponting has gone out of Hollyoake, has another wicket. Caught Stewart, bowled Hollyoake. It's just carried. The wicket-keeper has taken a good catch again. Ricky Ponting out for 45. And Paul Rifle, the new batsman. That's a good shot. Hollyoake has got down round about Rifle's pads there, trying to swing the ball across his body towards the slips. Devon Malcolm. Now 300 up for the Australians.
Well, that's the very best of Rifle. Wonderful shot. And that's going for 6. Colossal blow. And there's some parity there, because if you remember, Robert Croft was who lofted Shane Warne for a 6. A handsome straight 6. And so revenge is sweet. But at last, Croft gets his wicket, and he deserves it. Graham Thorpe fielding at cover. Shane Warne caught Thorpe, will Croft 20.
Shane Warne got a bonus of about 11 in my book. I thought you were very kind there when you said Robert Croft was most unlucky not to get an LBW. That was ridiculous.
That's 4. That's a bad ball. Dropped it. More bad luck for Robert Croft.
Yes, the way bat patters operate these days, you really expect those to be taken. That was one of the simpler bat pad chances and just adds to the string of bad luck for Robert Croft. That one really took off, and so did the keeper. Alex Stewart had to. And that's a good effort.
That's out. Well, Gillespie, the demon blocker, essayed a shot, and it was curtains for him. Seems very unhappy about that. Glenn McGrath is coming out to bat. I don't know, Alex Stewart didn't appeal. That was very interesting. Everybody else on the ground appealed. But if you look carefully at Alex Stewart,
hasn't quite worked away down there at deep fine leg. It was meant to be the little instep, possibly into the top left-hand corner, but it just turned out to be 4. Oh dear.
A bit of tiredness creeping into the England fielding. Ben Holyoke throws the ball after there's a bit of hesitation by the Australian batsman, and Alex Stewart misses the ball.
That's it. No problems this time. The rifle is out. Ben Holyoke, having missed with the throw, has now taken the catch, and that ends the Australian innings. That's the way the Australian innings finished, 336, and a brilliant performance there from Ian Healy, who read the situation perfectly. He's always a bit of a goer with the bat, and with the gloves for that matter, and today he did a terrific job. Shared a century partnership with Ricky Ponting, who made 45. But I thought that was one of Healy's best ever Test match innings. I've seen him make hundreds before. I thought this was certainly the equal of either of those. 336 all out in the bowling figures for England. They suffered after the first wicket was taken, that of Steve Waugh, when Andrew Caddick picked him up, and then was expensive in his first 5 overs after that. 20 overs, 2 maidens, 3 for 85 in all. Croft, I thought, bowled better today, had a better line, and he restricted the batsman a little. Could have had a bit more luck, 26.5 overs, 6 maidens, and 2 for 74. 2 wickets for Headley, 1 for Ben Holyoke, and 2 for Adam Holyoke, who swung the ball consistently away from the right-handers. Now, at the end of that innings, that was the situation. England needed 451 runs to win. They had to create records. They had to go against the history of the game in Ashes matches and other Test matches, for that matter, if they were to make that. And it was a really stiff task. We're going to join play now with the 4th ball of the 2nd over of the England second innings. Paul Rifle is the bowler, Michael Atherton taking strike, and there's 1 run on the board.
Catch!
Michael Atherton going down the wicket to have a look and see where that pitched, but that struck Atherton's bat somewhere up around the slice or the handle, and it's a little disconcerting.
Good solid stroke from Michael Atherton. Great shot. Oh, we've seen a lot of hooking, cutting and pulling early in the day from the Australians. Alex Stewart playing a shot every bit as good as any we've seen today. That's very sweetly timed indeed. Greg Blewett giving chase from short leg. Beaten by the 10 yards. And the over finishes with successive boundaries to Alex Stewart. They're asked and it's out. That's the end of Michael Atherton in this match. Couldn't get the gloves down in time. The ball just flicking them on the way through. That's out. Alex Stewart is gone. Paul Rifle's first delivery after tea.
You see the length here. It's up there, it gets him forward a little bit on that front foot. And he's never quite to the pitch because it wasn't a big enough stride. Nasser Hussain, the new batsman.
Only one man in front of square on the offside. Cracking shot from John Crawley. A lovely cover drive by Nasser Hussain. Brings up to 50 for England.
Gone. Inside edge. Gillespie has been thrashed early on, but he's come back to take the wicket, and Nasser Hussain has gone. But he hasn't looked comfortable. He looked to me as though he was concerned solely with defence out there, and not playing his natural game. Graham Thorpe is the new batsman. Great stroke. Well, it's costing Gillespie plenty, but he does have the one wicket against his name. And that went straight over short mid-wicket's head. Steve Ward, the man there.
Down leg side, there'll be a shout for that. There's a click, and he's been given out.
He was nowhere near the pad. The bat gets well away from the body. That's out.
Adam Holyoke is the new batsman. Beautifully played. No doubt about that. Beautifully executed. Into the gap. Nice timing too, because the ball is racing on there down the hill. And that's played beautifully. Again, he waited and there was no turn. It was slanted across him. Played it late and played it strong. Oh, that's a big shout, and that is out. Adam Holyoke goes, and Gillespie, expensive as he is, strikes again. .121 for 5.
Well, that was a strange dismissal. It was almost as Adam Holyoke misread the length and got himself trapped on the back foot. Yes, it hit him on the knee roll.
Well, here's Holyoke Mark II. Ben Holyoke. Well, he gets runs. It wasn't badly bowled at all. Jason Gillespie's bowled looser stuff than that. I mean, clattered away. But I think he'd feel rather unlucky there.
Not out is the eventual verdict. It's beautifully bowled. The seam absolutely in the perfect position for the leg break. Graham Thorpe, I think, has just glanced that right off the face of the bat. Very nicely played. This is the penalty for Jason Gillespie. Australia going all out for wickets. .50 for Graham Thorpe. Carved away. The celebrations inevitably will be muted, even though Michael Atherton is out there on the balcony applauding this pretty much lone effort by Graham Thorpe. He's given it. Well, we had one early in the day. Ironically, Shane Warne padded up to Robert Croft, doing exactly the same thing. Cyril Mitchley turned that one down. Ben Holyoke will mutter his way off now. He was certainly deceived by that. It was an error of judgment. Too straight to leave alone, no doubt about that whatsoever. England 6 down for 144. Robert Croft. Robert Croft has lofted that high in the sky there, carrying the long on boundary. Straight to mid-on, and he's caught it. Glenn McGrath takes the catch. Well, Shane Warne might have allowed himself a rueful smile after the first one. He'll be grinning all over his face now, as Robert Croft has basically just given things away.